Right, hi one and all. Here comes my Snoopy. Just come in the back door. Sooty's already down here beside me, look. Right, Snoop. There you go, Snoop. Over here. There you go, Snoop. Sooty's already had his apple pie crust. I was on the phone, so I didn't get to chat straight away. There you go. Right, door's locked. Boys are in. Just put my apple pies in the dish. Sooty came in first, so he had the crust first. Snoop's only just come in, so he's had the second lot. There you go, guys. Perfect. Right. Yes, apple pie time. Monday's done and dusted. Praise the Lord. So we've got Terrible Tuesday to look forward to now. Right, let me get this mute and we can have a chat. There we go. Ooh. Oh, it's lovely, guys. It's a little bit fresh out there tonight. There you go. Right, that's on. Let me just pop this away. Goes there. Goes there. Right. I am getting moved back over to Bury St Edmunds at the end of the month. The 28th. The week starting the 28th to the 1st of November. So I've got to go back over to Bury just to do cover work. Just to make sure everything's off. So that was confirmed today. So that means I've only got another couple of weeks over at Cambridge before I nip back to Bury, so that's not too bad. That'll make a nice end to the month as well, because Bury's quite close to me, and that's the week, I think, 27th, I think is when the clocks change to winter time, so I'll get an extra hour in bed. And I don't have to go to work so early in Bury, because Bury's a lot closer. I don't have to set off so early, because I set off at 6:30 in the morning to get to work at the moment. So if I'm working in Bury, I could probably set off about 7:30, so that's even better. So me and the boys can have more time. So yes, that's good. I'm trying to contact my contact in Birmingham, or at Sutton Coldfield, which is basically Birmingham, to try and trying to work out a date so that I can do a greet and meet in Birmingham. I know the dates I'm going to be in Scotland now, so I've got to... There you go, I was just waiting for the counter to stop. So I've got to then try and work out a date for the Birmingham one, and as soon as I can work out a date, then we can see how many people would like to come, and we'll try and go from there. I've still got to go and see Ches, and I've also got to go and have my makeover up that way as well. So I've got 3 things to do in Birmingham area. So yeah, so it's going to be good. So I'm waiting for my contact to get back in contact with me. I've sent her a message this evening, and I'm still waiting for a reply. She did say she'd reply as soon as she could. So yeah, see how this goes, guys. Right, I've got my apple pies. Snoop's having a drink in the back. They've just been up the garden, and that's cleared. Right, the boys will probably stay in the back room. They don't tend to follow me through in the evening. Snoop sometimes does. Comes and jumps on the sofa with me. But they like their own sofa here, that one. He likes crawling under the duvet. I won't let him do that in the front room. There, right. I'll push the door to, we'll see if he comes in. There we go. I'll lit my candle again. It's down there flickering away, look, in front of my printer. And my roses are starting to wilt now. I noticed today they're looking a little bit sorry for themselves, so this might be their last outing, so they might have to go. So if you're watching Chrissy, I'm sorry. They've done well. They have done well. Oh, Snoop's come to see me. Hello, Snoopy. Right, can I put the camera down, guys? There you go. You're a good boy. Oh, you're so good. Right, go and sit yourself down. Over that end. No, over there. Good boy. Right, try and get my slippers off. My slippers stick to my feet. The soles, when my feet are hot or damp, and I put these on, they stick and I can't get them off. I have to keep wiggling my feet to try and get them off. Here we go. Come on a bit closer. Whoop. Oh, that was close. Right, I phoned up my GP this morning, and I've got a date for my flu jab, which is, I've written it on a bit of paper, guys, and it's round here somewhere. I've lost it. I don't know what I've done with it. I'll find it. It's the I think it was the 26th. It's a Saturday. Yes, it's actually the Saturday before. It's the Saturday is the 26th. Sunday is the 27th when the clocks change, and then Monday the 28th is when I go to Bury St Edmunds. So it's all that weekend. So everything's happening that weekend. I can't see what I've done with a bit of paper. It might still be in the kitchen. It was in my tuck box. I got it out of my tuck box. I think it might still be in the kitchen. But I need to write that in my diary. So everything's happening on that particular weekend. So it's getting good. Oh, lovely. Right, let me get my legs up. Throw this duvet. Oh, that's better. I hope I got those dates right. I'll find out when I get that bit of paper. So yes, I've booked my flu jab. Still haven't got my medical records yet, but that's still happening. So I've got to wait for that. So that's fine. Nothing really untoward happened at work today. It was a fairly normal day at work. Weather wasn't particularly good today. I got a dry walk with the boys this morning. We were up and out sort of 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and it was very cloudy, very dark, quite mild. Wasn't particularly windy. And then when I put the boys into the kennel, it was raining, and it rained all the way to Cambridge. So I think it finished. I don't know exactly what time it finished because I'm inside the workshop and I haven't got windows in the workshop. It's one big door. You drive in and shut the door, and that's it. And I couldn't hear the rain. But I believe it finished probably about mid-morning, maybe 10, 11 o'clock time, but I'm not sure. So I was in the workshop working all day, so it didn't make any difference to me. But it was good, and the sun came out on the way home, so I had a lovely drive home. The sun came out at the latter part, so it wasn't in my eyes all the time because it can be a bit of a pain, but it was really nice, and I got home in the dry, so that's lovely. I don't know what the rest of the week's going to be doing. I'm not that bothered. It is what it is, guys, and we'll go with the flow. What else can I tell you? I haven't seen anybody. I haven't been anywhere other than work. One of the fellas I was working with today suffers with back problems, and this is the second time it's happened while I've been there where he's hurt himself, and he can be doing the most trivial thing and it throws his back out. And the first time it happened, I didn't realise it had happened. I'd pulled up at work outside the garage, and I'd parked my car in the road outside the garage, as we all did. And I'd got there before this particular member of staff, and he parked a couple of cars ahead of me on that side of the road. And I saw him standing beside his car, and I wasn't really paying any attention. I was on my YouTube, I was going through my messages, and I didn't really pay much of attention to him. I could see him stood beside his car, and that was it. And I carried on. Anyway, I glanced up a little bit later, and I could see another one of the workshop members of staff had turned up, and he was talking to him. They both stood together talking beside his car. And I kept my eye on them then, not knowing what they were up to. And then the second member of staff who turned up helped him across the road, and he was hobbling. And I thought, oh, something's happened. I didn't realise something had happened. What he'd done, he'd parked his car, got out of his car to lock it, and as he'd got out of his car to lock it, his back had gone, and he couldn't move. And he was stood beside his car, hanging onto the side of his car, and he didn't dare move because his back had gone. He couldn't walk, couldn't do anything. So this other member of staff helped him across the road into the garage. And yeah, that was the first time it ever kicked off. And today, something similar happened. He was doing his very first job of the day, and I saw him stood by his ramp, and he looked very kind of sheepish, and he wasn't moving. And I said to him, you hurt your back? And he said, yeah. He said, I don't move. And he stood there for ages, and I said, is there anything I can do? Do you want some paracetamol or something? He said, no, I'm all right, I'll be all right. And he stood there for ages, but he has actually got a back support belt at work, which he keeps at work just in case this happens. And so the next thing, he was putting his belt on, trying to pull himself back together. He wasn't able to do any more work that particular day today because his back issues. I hope he's going to be okay tomorrow, but we just have to wait and see. You know, back injuries are one of the worst, absolutely unbelievable. So yes, that wasn't particularly good for him today. And I met him later on in the day, and he was in the toilets washing his hands, and he said this is the first time this has happened for ages. He said it happened really suddenly. He said he wasn't expecting it. It just like that it happened. He said there was no forewarning that was going to happen. It just literally he He was actually trying to put a wheel onto a wheel balancer, and he bent down to pick the wheel up. He hadn't even picked the wheel up, and as he bent down, that's when his back went. So, yeah, not good. And that happening to him brings back memories of me working at another garage. And something similar happened to my boss at the garage. My boss at the garage, this was a Datsun garage. This is going back before it was Nissan. It was Datsun back then. And I worked at this Datsun garage for 3 years. And the boss of the garage wanted to have a look at a job in the body shop. The garage I worked at was a mechanical and a paint shop. And the paint shop was part of the main workshop. It was sectioned off. And the boss came out of the office with a painter, and they disappeared into the body shop side of the garage. And then a little while later, the painter came back through, and I saw him come through the door and go over to the foreman, and he said something to the foreman, and the foreman and the painter went back into the paint shop. And I wasn't paying any attention, I was just doing my job. And then I saw the door open again, and the painter and the foreman were carrying the boss out of the body shop and taking him into the office. And what had happened, the boss had bent down to look at the car that had just been painted, and his back locked and he couldn't move. He was bent double and he couldn't get up, he couldn't do anything. And they actually picked him up, carried him in the office, and they sat him in a chair, and he sat there all day. I don't know how he got home, but he sat there all day. But yeah, not funny. It's not really funny. Sorry. Right, guys, I'm going to eat my apple pies and I shall speak to you guys later. I shall do a shout out about 10 o'clock if you'd like to leave me a message. I haven't checked any messages today at all, so I'm going to start doing those now, and I'm going to eat my apple pies. I'm not turning the telly on, it's just going to be messages. So I shall go through those messages, and yeah, if you can wait for me for 10 o'clock when I do the washing up, I'll give you a shout out if you want to shout out, but we can have another chat as well. Right, I'm going to sign out now, guys, and I shall speak to you later. Bye bye.